These type of lessons are literally burned into me, and so I use these things every day. They're almost unconscious to me. What's up, YouTube? It's Brendan McCaughey, and I'm back with another video. This one's actually going to be 3 quick things for you that I've learned that I want to pass along. So this video is all about 3 things that I learned during my time as a professional chef and culinarian, and that taught me a lot. These 3 things that I learned in the kitchen, in the trenches, cooking with some of the best chefs that I've ever worked with, these lessons stuck with me and I still use them every single day. So the first lesson that I learned in the culinary arts, and probably the first lesson that anybody who's decent learns and picks up quick and early, is Mise En Place, which is a French term that actually means a place for everything and everything in its place. That's what I was taught. I think the actual translation means like everything in its place, basically. But this is a system that really becomes internalized if you're trying to be the best at what you do in the kitchen. And this is something that anybody who works any type of job can take away and learn. How this actually applies to what I do every day is making sure that I'm actually ready and prepared, and that I've thought about everything that I'm gonna need in advance, and that I make sure that I have that for easy access, that I know where it is. I don't need to, if I'm reaching for it, I'm reaching for a specific place where I know where it is, where I'm not scrambling to look for something. And this carries across to all lines of work, all professions. Mise en place is a culinary form of organization that I think anybody can apply to their daily life. So an example of this would be my camera kit. So everything that I need to go on a shoot or to record something, or whether that's client work or my own stuff, that's all in my Pelican case. And I go through it the night before, I charge everything, I make sure everything is organized, clean, squared away, my memory cards are formatted, everything's organized and ready to go, so that when I show up, I have everything that I need. And I thought about extra stuff that I might need just in case, and I'm ready for basically anything. So that's a way that I like to think about mise en place, is being ready for anything. And that's something that I learned in the field. So the second thing that I learned that I use every day, it sounds a little bit obvious and cliche to even say this, but cooking. I mean, cooking is an amazing skill to have, and doing it under pressure where excellence is a standard, where you have to cook and prepare multiple things in the amount of time it takes most home cooks to prepare like one thing or like half of a ready meal. It really accelerates the returns on when you step out of the professional environment and you're cooking at home. It is such a breeze. And it's actually fun and enjoyable because you have this underlying skill set. So how this applies to anybody that's watching that hasn't had professional chef experiences, to just spend more time in the kitchen, but to immerse yourself also in the best available teachers, because there's so many people online. Like, let me just shout out a couple people that I think you could learn a lot from in terms of cooking online. So the first one would be Justin Khanna. He teaches not just techniques and how to cook and how to do stuff, but he actually teaches the mindset for professional chefs. So there's a lot to learn from that guy. He's a good buddy of mine, and we did a podcast last year, and tons of respect for him and what he's doing. He's doing amazing things. If you haven't followed him yet on Instagram or checked out his YouTube channel, go ahead and check it out, or check out his website at justinkhanna.com. Doing a ton of really good stuff. The other guy that I think, well, there's 2 other guys that I'll shout out for sure, and one of them is Josh Weissman. And since this is a YouTube channel and this is a YouTube video, you have to go and check out one of the kings of YouTube, which is Josh Weissman. And ton of respect for him. He's actually down the road in Houston, and I think he grew up, or at least spent a bunch of time in Austin. I know a little bit of his pedigree, and he's legit. Like, when I watch his videos, I'm like, I would love to like cook professionally with this guy on a brigade or something, because he is the real deal. He knows his shit, and he's funny. He's also really, really talented, and his videos are great. Like, he's got a whole team that produces content with him now. You can learn a lot. I learned a lot watching his stuff, and I've been cooking for years and years and years and years. But every time I watch one of his videos, I learn something. After you follow along what he does, he's gonna teach you, and he teaches me, a lot of steps that make things just a little bit better than if we were to just follow a recipe out of a book or grab something online and try to do it ourselves. He actually breaks things down and really illustrates key moments that we can learn and improve our cooking with. The last one that I want to shout out is Omnivorous Adam, or Adam Witt. And he's actually been on Justin's podcast a few times as well. And he's a really, really cool dude. Like, I totally appreciate his come up story and what he's done with his career and what he's doing with his content, because he makes really good content. He actually also breaks things down in such a way that you can really learn. I mean, I learned a ton watching his stuff. I mostly follow his stuff on Instagram, but I need to get on his YouTube channel and check out some of his longer form stuff too, because I know he's doing a lot on Instagram. I think he's gotten into TikTok, but he also does a longer form stuff on YouTube. So following along these people and these creators who are putting out high quality culinary content can help you learn from professionals, just like I did when I was actually in the kitchen during my career. So that's the second thing. It seems super obvious. One of the lessons that I learned from being a chef was how to cook, but I use that every day and it makes a huge difference in life. So learning to cook is amazing, and I hope everybody could be a better cook. That's something that these guys, Justin, Adam, and Josh Weissman, they're all doing really well. They're putting out amazing knowledge for people to improve their skills in the kitchen. So go follow those guys, go check out their recipes, and I guarantee you will learn something. The third and final thing that I learned that I use every single day that I first picked up in the kitchen and under high pressure, high stress environments is problem solving. So there's never, I shouldn't say never, there's hardly ever a very smooth day in the kitchen. There's always something that comes up, always something unexpected, except the better your mise en place gets, the smoother every single day gets. And if everybody on your team has good mise en place, then eventually your team, your restaurant, your kitchen runs smoothly almost all the time, except when something arises and you need to solve a problem. And that's one thing that I still use every single day, is solving problems. I mean, who of us doesn't use that skill? But improving it, learning how to do it, and being more creative with how we solve problems, especially when time is a factor, because a lot of times we can take our time to solve problems in the normal world. But in a kitchen, when things are, the order is in and you don't have what you need and you need to go get it, or make it from scratch again and you're out of it, those type of things, and solving problems quickly and looking for solutions instead of focusing on the problem, I think applies just about everywhere. So that's one thing that I use every day, is as soon as there's a problem, I'm already moving past that and I'm looking for the solution. And that kind of a mindset really helps me both professionally and personally, and I use that every single day. But the real place that I honed that was in the kitchen. So problem solving under pressure is even more important. So doing what we know we need to do, which is start to focus on solutions, especially when you're stressed or under pressure, that becomes a habit, and then it becomes something that just changes the way you approach everything and your attitude towards life itself. So those are 3 things that I learned that I still use every single day, but I first picked them up in kitchens, working with culinary teams as a chef. And the first one is mise en place, or your system of being organized and knowing where your stuff is and knowing that you're ready for basically anything. The second thing is cooking itself. So I use cooking every day. I prepare food for my family and myself, and I really, really enjoy cooking itself. Doing it as a profession almost lost that for me. But now that I have stepped back and I occasionally still teach a cooking class, occasionally still do some catering with some of my compadres from over the years, I still enjoy those experiences, but I enjoy cooking on a whole new level now that I have the skill set that I acquired from doing it professionally. And so in order to translate that to you, go watch Josh Weissman, go check out Justin Khanna, and go check out Adam Witt, because those guys are all putting out, Omnivorous Adam, those guys are all putting out amazing, amazing content across the spectrum of the mindset of cuisine and different techniques, recipes, and short form, long form. Can't go wrong following those guys and learning how to cook better. The third thing is something that I still need to work on and improve, but I definitely picked it up in the kitchen and apply it every day, and that's problem solving. So whenever there's a problem, I immediately sidestep the problem. I analyze it and I understand it, but I immediately focus beyond the problem on what is the solution. And so those are 3 things that I learned on my journey as a culinarian, as a chef, as a young man, and I think that you can apply to your life. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take a second, subscribe to the channel, and I promise you that I will deliver you value through learning and through other content that I'll put out in the future. And follow along as I try to grow and become a YouTuber, as I'm learning this live in public. Follow my journey. Follow me as I share content, stuff like this, like stuff that I know, stuff that I've learned, stuff that I'm learning, and stuff that I think will impact a wide range of people. So I'm not going to say that I'm just a filmmaking YouTuber, or say that I'm just a culinary YouTuber, or say that I'm just a personal development YouTuber, or whatever. The core of this channel, and the reason that I think you should subscribe, is because I'm obsessed with learning, I'm obsessed with mastery, and those things, if you really understand them, they bridge all fields, and they bridge all forms of knowledge. So stick with me, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Let's one take Drake this. Okay. It's funny for me to even say that, because it takes me fucking shitloads of takes to do this. He didn't become one take Drake without a bunch of takes before that, that's the fact. So